or truck, guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay. Come in today. Doing business.
Hello and welcome to the Frontier Motor Show. This is Iven Streckel, owner of Frontier Motors. And again, we've been bringing the show to you for 25 years. I think we're probably the oldest running show on the TV right now in the Pensacola area. So appreciate you turning in. For the next half hour, we're going to talk what's going on in the car business. And I know you might think, well, I can turn that channel because I don't care about cars right now. Well, you never know. You know, you got a lot of red light runners in Pensacola. I noticed that. I moved down from Wisconsin 25, 26 years ago. And that's one of the things that I noticed is that a lot of people do not stop. I don't have a clue why that is, which means that there's a lot of cars that need to be replaced based on the accidents I see in our area. I'm hoping that you're not one of those people, but if you are, all of a sudden now you're thrown into the car buying mode. And I'm happy to announce, well, let me talk about, again, the show a little bit. We talk about what's going on at Frontier Motors, but most importantly, we'll talk about what's going on in the car business, a little bit about what's a good car to buy, what's a bad car to buy, based on consumer reports and also based on my experience of being at Frontier Motors for 25 years and getting in the car business since I was 15 years old. So I don't want to call myself an expert because there's no such thing, but I have a lot of experience in which is a good car for my customers, based on my customers' feedback, and which are bad cars. And a lot of times that corresponds with Consumers Report. Says I am a Consumers Report advocate, so I get all the magazines from Consumers Reports. I read them cover to cover. And I would say that 90% of the time I definitely agree. Every once in a while I think, I think that car is not that bad of a car based on sales. And I'll give you a prime example. Let's use a Jeep Wrangler. If I use a Jeep Wrangler, if you read Consumers Reports, you would never buy a Jeep Wrangler. It's never been a recommended car. If anything, it's actually been one of those cars that they talk about that is not recommended. But why are they the number one increased in sales of almost every car out there? And why, for customer satisfaction, the two vehicles that are out there which aren't recommended necessarily is the Jeep Wrangler, customer satisfaction is number one, and the Tesla model, customer satisfaction is number one. Tesla has not had the best showing as far as reliability and serviceability, but customers love them. And the same thing happens with a Jeep Wrangler. So you can't always read Consumers Reports, but that's where our experience comes into play. Matter of fact, I'm driving a Wrangler. I love driving it. It is not the quietest vehicle on earth. It doesn't get the best gas mileage. It's not the most comfortable. It doesn't handle the best, but it's the most fun. That's why they sell. And you get really good resale value out of Wrangler. One of the few vehicles that you can drive for 2 or 3 years and not lose a lot of money on. Fortunately, the new ones keep going up every year, so a used one is still a bargain compared to a new one, but they do not depreciate as much as the average car. Matter of fact, again, according to Consumers Reports, the average car last year depreciated 27% in the first year alone. That means let's do the math on a $100,000 car. That means the first year, if you bought that $100,000 BMW, let's say, or Jaguar, or Infiniti, or Porsche, whatever it was, the average that you would lose if you decided to sell it in 1 year is $27,000. Ouch. Why would you buy a new one? And that's where we come in. Frontier Motors is the alternative to new. And I'm happy to, and the reason we are is because we're trying to save people money and still make money in the process. So the way to do that is to show you what a new one costs by either sending you to a new car dealer, or we have all the new car cost guides so we can tell you what the retail price is and what the invoice is, and then show you what a 1-year-old vehicle would sell for and what the depreciation is even after we make money on it. And most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, people end up buying the used car as long as it's like new. I still have the skeptical people coming in and say, well, why would somebody get rid of a car that's got 4,000 miles on it? And you know what I always say is I don't really care. As long as the vehicle's not abused, it hasn't been an accident, it smells like brand new, it hasn't been smoked in, it's not nicked up and scratched in, what does it really matter? The factory warranty transfers with the car. Years and years ago, they made the car under warranty, not the person that bought it. When I first got into business in 1975 as a salesperson, you had to fill out a little warranty card, and you paid $25 to transfer the warranty on a Chevrolet back then. You don't do that anymore. If you got a 3-year warranty with your car, if the car is 1 year old, you still have 2 years of warranty. If you buy a Hyundai or a Kia, for example, comes with a 5-year warranty. If the car is 1 year old, you still got 4 years bumper to bumper warranty. Same thing with Lexus. Lexus has a 4-year warranty. You're going to get a 3-year warranty. Now, what we do on top of that at Frontier Motors, we throw in a drivetrain warranty up to 100,000 miles. So if the car is 1 year old, you have 9 more years on the engine and transmission, up to 100,000 miles on the odometer. Just a little, and one of the reasons that we did that, folks, is because I'm not sure if you remember when Hyundai and Kia came out with their 100,000 mile warranty. Well, that was only to the first owner. So if I would buy one, I couldn't offer that to the next owner. People thought they bought a car, a Hyundai from us, used, and they would get a 100,000 mile warranty. You didn't. So we hooked up with an insurance agency that gave me one blanket policy that as long as the car is not modified, high performance, and as long as you don't abuse the car and keep track of your oil changes, that they would warranty the engine and transmission up to 100,000 miles or 10 years from the original date. Just a little thing that puts us above the competition that doesn't offer that. So one of the things that I was really happy that I got my new consumers reports, and on page 9, right in the first couple of pages, it says that the used car sweet spot is 2 and 3 year old vehicles. So we sell a lot of 1 year old vehicles, but they're saying the best value is 2 to 3 years old because they depreciate 27%, then another 14%, then another 9%. So 2 to 3 year old cars are often the best values when shopping for a car, according to Consumer Reports. Their price is lower than a comparable new car, and the continuing expenses such as collision insurance and taxes are lower. So obviously, if you buy a car for $10,000 less, if the taxes are 7%, you're going to save $700 in taxes. And also insurance, because the car costs less to replace, is going to be less expensive than on a brand new car. Plus, a 2 or 3 year old vehicle is already taking its biggest depreciation, but may still have warranty coverage left. So, for example, Kia and Hyundai have some of the best warranties where they have a 5-year bumper to bumper warranty. So if the car is 3 years old, you still have 2 years of warranty left. If you buy a 3-year-old Honda or Toyota, which supposedly are the best in the business, you got no warranty left. I never could figure that out. Why doesn't Honda and Toyota have the same warranty as Kia and Hyundai? It doesn't make any sense. If they've got such great cars, why don't they back them? Can't figure it out. Same with General Motors. You know, it's funny that Buick has a 4-year warranty, but Chevrolet has a 3-year warranty. Doesn't make any sense, does it? GMC have a 3-year warranty. Buick's the only one Buick and Cadillac have a 4-year warranty. Can't figure it out. I guess they're not asking me. Buying used is also a way to get a nicer, safer car than you'd be able to afford a new one. So let's say you want a new car and you go to the new car dealer and you can afford that $20,000 Corolla. It's affordable. But you really don't want that one. You want the one with all the safety features on it. You want the one with the leather interior and the sunroof. Well, now that car is $27,000 and it's out of your budget. Well, if you bought that car maybe 2 years old, you could get the one with the safety features, get it with the sunroof, and get it with the leather interior, and be in your budget of $20,000. Plus your taxes would be less because you're saving $7,000 on the price of the car, and your insurance is going to be less than that car was brand new at $27,000. So there's more reasons to look at a used car than just the price alone. Even if the price was the same, you can get a much nicer equipped car, especially with the safety features, than you would for a brand new one. Another thing that I really liked is everybody knows, and we talk about what's going on nationwide, well, I guess the biggest thing I should really be talking about is the shortage of new cars in the industry right now. We talked about it 2 weeks ago when I had the Blab show. Guess what? Nothing's changed. If anything, it's gotten worse. And right now, it says that Ford and Stellantis take the largest chip hit in the nation. Now, everybody knows what Ford is, but do you know what Stellantis is? Most people don't, because they just changed their name about 4 months ago, and that is Dodge Chrysler. Matter of fact, I looked up everything they own, and Stellantis has merged with Peugeot and changed their name. Peugeot is one of the largest sellers of cars in Europe, and they merged with Chrysler and with Jeep. So Stellantis owns Alfa Romeo, they own Chrysler, they own Citroen, Dodge, Fiat, Jeep, Lancia, Maserati, Mopar Parts, Opel, Peugeot, and Ram. So these are all the things that Stellantis owned. So Stellantis and Ford took the largest hit because of the microprocessor chip shortage in the nation. For some reason, last year when the COVID started, all the car dealers thought, oh my God, this is going to kill our sales. So they canceled all the chips. So chip manufacturer diverted and sold them to Samsung and to Apple and all the other places that need chips. So now when people came out of their houses about 3 months ago and they had all this pent up buying energy, they haven't spent any money in 7 or 8 months. Now guess what they're buying? One of the things they're buying is cars. And they're buying cars like crazy. If there wasn't a chip shortage, this would be the best new car selling year in history. Over 18 million cars they would sell if there wasn't a shortage, because the buyers are out there. But Ford and Chrysler is taking in the shorts. 80,000 vehicles short in 1 week alone. Last week it says Ford and Stellantis account for most of the nearly 80,000 vehicles taken out of North American production last week alone. Can you imagine that? Ford alone, 45,000 lost sales. 18,000 were Ford Explorers. 5,200 were Mustangs. 6,900 were the full-size transit vans, the big cargo vans. Stellantis had 30,000 vehicles impacted. 5,600 were Dodge Durangos. 2,200 were Ram pickup trucks. One of our best-selling truck right now is the Ford F-150. And the Ram truck. Ram truck is, for the first time ever, Ram outsold Chevrolet. It's never happened before. So I really like being a used car dealer because I can sell them all. So, you come in here and you don't know what you want. Some people say, well, I don't want a Ford, I want a Chevy. Well, guess what? We have Chevy, we have General Motors or GMC. And if you want a Nissan truck, we've got the Nissan Titan, and then we can walk you over to the Tundra, and we can walk you over the Ram. So it makes it so much easier. And I always advertise it's like going to a car show when you come to Frontier Motors, because you don't have to go to 5 dealers to look at 5 large trucks. And they wear you out. Everybody knows that. The dealers wear you out. Dealers have such a bad reputation, and going car shopping is such a bad thing that people hate it. And that's why Frontier Motors 25 years ago said, we're going to do things different. We're not going to ask you stupid questions like how much do you want to pay? What if I do this? What if I do this? What do you want for your car? What do you want your payments to be? We decided we're going to do it the right way. And that is by telling you what our product costs, what we can discount it to, what our out-the-door price is going to be with taxes and all the fees, what your trade-in value is, and now what your bottom line is. And then we did something different. We put it in writing and we signed it, and we gave you a copy of it and said, hey, if you're not sure if it's the best deal or not, why don't you go to the competition and let's see what they can do. Now, we wouldn't do that if we didn't think we had the best deal, because we wouldn't see you again. Now, not necessarily is the price always the best deal. I've been talking about this for years and years. It's the best deal is the best car for the money. If we have a car that's $20,000 and the dealer down the road selling it for $19,000, that doesn't mean this is a better deal. It's a better price. What if our car was a one-owner non-smoker with no chips and dents, and what if their car was a rental car that was all nicked up and scratched up? And I'm not saying rental cars are all nicked up and scratched up. We buy rental cars, but we only buy the cream of the crop. Some dealers don't. They buy the crappy ones on purpose. The reason they do that is so they can sell them cheaper, and they can advertise them cheaper, and then you go there and you don't want that car. And then they switch you to the new car. Might be $1,000 more, but they say, well, the payment's only going to be $50 more and you get a brand new car, but you got to go 2 more years out. Or they trick you into leasing the car. So what we do at Frontier Motors, we do it the old-fashioned way. Give you an out-the-door price and the best possible scenario of what we have available. And what I mean by that is lower miles. If not lower miles, better condition. If not better condition, more equipment, more safety features. Maybe just something as simple as a better color. And what you might not know, that when used cars run through the auctions, for example, the good, pretty ones with the good colors sell for more than the ugly ones. So when another dealer buys that ugly one and puts it on the lot and they can sell it for $700 less, it's not because it's a better deal, it's just an uglier car. And some people don't want to drive an ugly car. I always use, well, I'm not going to use a color, but I am not a fan of lime green. I saw a lime green Corvette the other day, one of those new hot rod Corvettes, those Stingray jobs. They're absolutely gorgeous. I love the body style. They're still selling for $20,000 over the original list price of the car, and they've been out for 2 years now. But why would anybody buy a lime green one? Because I know when I go to appraise that car, it's going to be probably $3,000 to $4,000 less than a good color. Like in a Corvette, for example, red or black, silver, white. They're good colors. They sell right off the shelf. But you get a weird color like, purple or green, yellow, even yellow. It affects the value of the car. But I really like the fact that when you talk about Carvana, everybody knows Carvana. They are that, they got the kiosks, the car kiosks. Have you ever seen them in the big city? Can you imagine what one of those kiosks costs? Also, another car seller is Vroom. Carvana and Vroom do not have any dealerships. So their claim to fame is no dealerships, lower overhead. I don't know how they can have no dealerships when they have those kiosks anyways. But they deliver the car to your home. You've got 7 days to drive the car. There's certain things that you've got to hit to be able to give that car back to them. A certain amount of miles. If you put a scratch on it, the whole deal's off. So you got to be a little bit careful. But I really am happy to notice that Automotive News says that as the digital acceleration of auto sales continues to gain steam, in other words, Carvana, digital sales, a study recently released showed American car shoppers still find the dealership in-person experience to be a vital part of the buying process. Hallelujah. The results show 94% of car buyers are most comfortable purchasing a vehicle from a dealership, and 92% said the test drive is an important part of the buying process, which you can't do when you buy from Carvana and Vroom. Now, you can test drive it. You got to pay for it. You got to insure it. They bring it to your house. You take it for a test drive. You don't like it. Then what happens? You got to cancel insurance. You got to get your money back. You probably already transferred the tag. So I think it's a great concept. And I think with the COVID, when that came into effect last year, it was a really good concept because people still needed cars. Some people still wanted to buy cars. If your car stopped running or it got totaled or it got stolen, you're going to need a car. And they didn't want to go to car dealerships. They were afraid of getting COVID. So they had Carvana bring the vehicle to their doorstep. But now that a lot of that is over with, it's a lot safer. The vaccines are out. People feel more comfortable. People really like going to a car dealership and being able to kick tires, being able to get one-on-one with a car salesperson, especially if it's one that's at Frontier Motors that doesn't pressure you into buying, that says, hey, the first thing we come out of our mouths at Frontier Motors is you don't have to buy it today. We just want you to buy from Frontier Motors. We don't care when you do it. It takes a lot of pressure off that you're not going to get that, well, if I do this, will you buy it today? What if I do this? We're going to give you a fair price right off the bat, and we're going to let you shop if that's what you want to do. We already have a program that tells us what all the competition in our area is selling. The mileage on the car, the color of the car, what's in stock, the Carfax history of the car, the equipment of their car versus our car. So we can pretty much compare every car. So if you're thinking about going car shopping and you know there's one down the road, I can pull that car up on my computer and tell you all about that car, even if they're not false advertising the car. What I mean by false advertising is not so much price, it's more the condition of the car. They all tell you their cars are in excellent condition, but you don't know that until you go there. And a lot of dealers do not do a good job setting up their cars. What I mean by that, simple things, is it starts in the buying process. Not buying a car that's been smoked in, not buying a car that's been in 3 accidents, not buying a car that they have to get all the dings and dents out and reconditioning to the max because the car they're buying is a crappy, turdy car, where we're buying a car that is the best of the best. And that's how I buy cars. The auction rates the cars from 0 to 5. If the car is not a 4 or above, I don't even look at it. I don't want somebody else's nightmare, and I don't want to pass that car on to my next owner because I know I'm going to hear about it. And I don't want to have to recondition the car. I don't want to have to paint half the car. I don't want to have to do a lot of mechanical repair on the car when I get it. I want a car that's been well taken care of. I run the history report of every car, which, by the way, I do for free to anybody out there. If you've got a car that you're thinking of selling, wouldn't it be nice to have a Carfax report in the glove box to show the next owner, especially if it's a clean one? We run Carfax reports on every car we buy, and we put them in the glove box and we unlock our car every morning so you can get in the glove box and you can look at it at your leisure. And it better be good, right? Because if it's bad, you're not going to buy it. And that leads me to another thing. What if you've got a car that you're driving and somebody T-bones that car, and now you have some major damage caused by somebody else? You're actually now entitled to diminished value. The value of the vehicle is diminished because the history report says it's been in an accident, sometimes major. Not a big deal if it's minor, but if it's moderate or major, airbags have been deployed, it says the vehicle had to be towed, that is going to be a hit on the value of your car. Shouldn't the person that hit you have to pay for that diminished value? Let's say you got a $50,000 BMW that you just bought. Somebody T-bones you, you got $15,000 worth of damage. You got great insurance, they fix it like brand new. You come to trade the car and a year later, it says major accident reported. And the car dealer you're doing business with, whether it be Frontier Motors or the BMW dealer, says, hey, I'm going to have to reduce the value of your car because I need to sell it to somebody else. And a lot of people are scared if the vehicle has been in a major accident. So therefore, I'm going to have to reappraise the car for less money. Well, if you got compensated for that because of a letter from Frontier Motors of diminished value, at least you're not getting hit. You've already been compensated for it. So that's one of the things that we do. And hopefully the vehicle hasn't been totaled. But if it's been totaled, we'll give you replacement value on that car. What it costs to replace that particular car if you're going to buy another one like it. Or what you should get on that particular car, even if you're going to buy a different make and model. Because if you have a BMW and it gets stolen, it doesn't mean you got to go out and buy another BMW. You're out to buy, they're going to give you a check. You're able to buy whatever you want. But you want to make sure that that check is the right check. And those are some of the things that we can do at Frontier Motors is to help you. Now, I was talking about, I got off track with the chip shortage. What that means is that when you go to buy your new car, let's say you said, Ivan, you can't talk me into buying a used car. My wife won't let me. She's afraid of buying a used car because she thinks that maybe it's somebody else's lemon. So I'm going to buy brand new no matter how much money you save me. I said, okay, well, one thing I can do is help you by telling you what your trade-in is worth. Let me give you a buy bid for your trade-in. Don't give that to the new car dealer. Work out your best deal when you go there, which is going to be a problem because there's a chip shortage, which means there's an inventory shortage, which means they might not have the car that you want on the lot. And if they do have it, it means they're going to jack up the price of that car because when they had maybe 200 coming in every month, now they got 50 coming in, and it's supply and demand, so they are charging over list price. And if you're foolish enough to pay that over list price, then you want to make sure that they're giving you a fair trade-in value on your car. And that's where we come in. Because let's say you find the car, let's say you say, okay, I'll pay it. I love the car, it's what I want, I'll go ahead and pay you what you want. I know it's more than what I should be paying, but I understand the situation. I give you $20,000 for the trade-in, they're appraising it for 17. Number one, I'd be a little ticked. They're not only overcharging you for the car, they're undervaluing your trade-in. Now that might not mean they're ripping you off. That might mean that appraiser doesn't like your car. Maybe he's got 10 of them like that in stock. Maybe he doesn't have any money to buy your car. Have you ever thought of that? A lot of times that happens where they get overextended. They have too many cars in stock. I don't think that'll happen right now because there's a car shortage, but that has happened in the past where they have they've had to appraise their car through wholesalers because they don't want your car. Or what if they just don't like your car? What if you got a F-250 pickup truck diesel and you're buying a new Lexus at the Lexus Mobile, and that they don't get a lot of calls on their used car lot for F-250 diesels, so they call somebody else. So you get a lower appraisal. So it might not be because and sometimes it might be because they're just trying to rip you off, but that's not normally the case, and I don't want to give the car business a worse reputation than they already have. So what I do is I keep them honest by giving you an appraisal in writing. A lot of times what happens is that I've had this happen already at some dealers where you can trade the car in at that dealer and I'll buy it from that dealer. But most of the time what people do is they just don't want the hassle of a trade-in. So they come and they sell me the car, and at that point, they are free to buy whatever they want. A lot of times while they're waiting for me to get the check ready for their car, they'll find that I might have a 2020 or 2021 model used car on the lot that's like new, and then all of a sudden I can show you the car. When I show you the car, that the car still smells like new, still has factory warranty, it looks like new, and maybe it's $4,000 less than a new one. I'm giving you more for the trade-in. You like us better. we end up talking you into buying that car that you said you weren't going to buy. And that's how we've made a living for the last 25 years, is by having to save money on a late model alternative to new car, and by convincing you, by showing you that that car looks like a brand new car. If it was all nicked up and scratched up, I'd be the first one to say, hey, I want to buy a brand new car. But if the used car, you can't distinguish the difference between the used and new, why wouldn't you buy used? Sometimes you can even go a couple of models older and save a bunch of money and not have it look like a used car. Sometimes you can even go 6 or 7 years old and not have it look like a used car if they haven't changed the body style of the car. So things are happening in the new car industry. Right now, it's not a good time to buy a new car, I feel, because of the car shortage. A lot of times they're not going to have what you want in stock anyways. What's in stock right now is some of the leftovers. Those are the ugly ones. All the good ones, the pretty ones with the equipment, have been picked through, and you're stuck with the ugly ones, or you're stuck with ordering a car and then they can't give you a proper delivery time on them because they have no clue when they're going to be able to get that car in. Used to be 6 to 8 weeks. Now you don't know if it's going to be 14 weeks, 18 weeks, or 20 weeks. You have no clue. So come to Frontier Motors and let's take a look what we have. Also, folks, I've only got a couple of minutes left. I want you to know that it's affecting us a little bit also, because the auctions aren't selling as many cars. So I have had some of the best selling months we've ever had. So even our inventory is down. Now we still have about 260 cars inventory, which is a pretty darn good inventory, 260 cars. But we're used to stocking 360 to 400 cars. So we're a little short also. So I urge you that if you have a car that you're not using, or you're perhaps maybe going to do without a car for a while, bring us the car. Don't put it on Craigslist. Don't put it on Facebook Marketplace or Auto Trader. Bring us the car, and because we're shortage cars, you'll be surprised on what we'll pay for a car. We'll pay a lot more than wholesale for a car, and what we're going to do is still sell that car at a small profit, still make it a good deal for our prospective customer, but we're going to make less on that car because we're paying you more, but we're not going to take advantage of the next customer coming in. Check out Frontier Motors on our website. Again, about 260 cars inventory. They all got prices on board. They've got about 30 to 40 pictures on board. We've got a great website. If you have any questions, there's a link to being able to email us, of course, the old-fashioned way by dialing 436-8080 and calling us, and we will give you all the information over the phone. Remember, free car faxes, free appraisal, free diminished value. There's so many things that we offer. The best thing I think that we do at Frontier Motors is give you free advice that has anything to do with either buying or selling of your car. Even if you want to sell it by yourself, we'll show you how to do it. We'll show you the proper paperwork you need. We'll show you how to not to get scammed. And I think that goes a long ways. Most of our customers that come to us are repeat and referral customers that have bought from us before, and they're so happy that they come, they sit down with their salesperson, and within minutes they're going to be driving out with a brand new car. And that's the same whether we're selling you a car or whether we're buying your car from you. I had a customer yesterday. I think they were in here for 15 minutes and they were out with a check because they had the title in their back pocket for their little Colorado. Again, thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen.